Hello, my name's Duncan. I'm here for a live stream. I don't know if anybody's here watching me or anything. Just to say that this is a Podcasty episode 6. Yes, it's really a Podcasty episode 6 because my partner in crime, Al, is on holiday in the land of Ouzo and smashing plates and crockery. And I had a holiday cover for him, who unfortunately is ill at the moment, so couldn't cover it. So I thought I'd do one anyway. So I thought I'd just do it as a live stream, sort of try and cover the stuff we normally do. So I'm going to see how I go, and if anybody's here watching me, that's great. And if anybody wants to interact, that's great. But if not, I will probably put this up with our normal podcast as we go along. I've got little dogs in this room, so hopefully they're not going to cause too much hassle, which occasionally they do. And that's it, really. And so I've got a list in front of me of stuff I'm going to cover. Just looking at the screen to the left. I'm going to do roughly what me and Al normally do. Stuff I've read, and some stuff about BookTube, some stuff I've watched, and some vague plans. And I said that's it, really. So I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but we'll see how we go. Any noises outside could be people mowing grass, walking past the window, because it's about 24, 25 degrees here, which up here in the north of Scotland, we're not used to that. We're a pasty bunch up here, and we're not used to that. So it's a bit of a shock to our systems. So I'm going to jump straight in and talk about what I've been reading this past month. And I said if you saw, I did a video, when did I? Oh, a few weeks ago, with a TBR and stuff, and I've been quite slow at reading the past few months. I've struggled, really. Bless you, Gizmo. But what I've got through this month, the first thing I will talk about is Isaac Asimov. Through Glass Clearly, which is a book of shorts. Some of them I knew before. The shorts were It's a Beautiful Day, Belief, Breeds There a Man, and The Sea Shoot. Good, solid Asimov stories. Belief is the one that always stands out for me because it's about a man who discovers he can levitate himself and how he can prove that he's levitating, and his solution is very Asimovian. Asimovian? Is that a word, or I just invented a word? Because basically Isaac Asimov, you find a lot of his protagonists, they solve them in a very thinky way. Thinky, I'm inventing words. So that is probably the standout story in that collection. It's been around in a few other collections. And I also read a random story of his called Franchise, which I've got in the Robot Dreams collection, which I've actually put down there with a wonderful Ralph McQuarrie cover on it. And it was in a couple of others as well. And it's about elections. And because we've just had an election, everybody's talking elections, I wanted to read it. And it's about the one man has a vote in the country, and that's it. And a computer decides from that, asking him a bunch of questions, who should be the next president. And that's basically it. But it's really interesting at the end because it's basically a story about how important voting is. And there's a line at the end of it which is great because it's let's see if I can find that line, which I always like, which is in this imperfect world, the sovereign citizens of the first and greatest electronic democracy had, through Norman Muller, through him, exercised once again its free and untrammeled franchise, which is a really interesting statement because in some ways it hadn't, because he was the only one voting, if that makes sense. But it's a really, really interesting story. If you've not read it and you like some Asimov, that's worth picking up. And the other thing I obviously finished this month was finally Jordan's The Eye of the World. Hi, Roy. Eye of the World, and I've just finally got my way through it. Nice to see you here, Roy. Nice to see somebody here. Anyway, which has taken me about 2 months to read. I've got some videos to catch up on that I'm meant to be reading. I had on my final thing that I read, but does it count as reading? Oh, it is reading anyway. Was comic-wise. I was wading through the Judge Dredd complete case files, and I finished the first one of these. So I've read more of this than probably anything else this month. But I've not read a lot of these stories for probably since they were published, and I forgot how dark some of them are, and quite how gruesome, and how lots of metaphors. You've got the one here with the neon knights, which I will show you. You can see that on the right there. So you've got the Neon Knights there, and it's basically a parallel of racism in the Ku Klux Klan. It's not a very subtle metaphor, but for young impressionable children and that we were at the time, it was probably hit home. It probably was quite obvious for us. But there is some quite gruesome stuff in here, and I really forgot how gruesome Judge Dredd can be at points. So I'll finish that, and I will be starting some of the other stuff that I'm partway through. Sorry, I'm rambling now. It's All Flesh is Grass, Cliff Max book, which obviously Sean is the expert, and I was hoping to have Sean here, but Sean is the expert on Cliff Max, but I'm partway through that one as well at the moment, and I said I will report back on that one. I've not read it since probably about 1980, so a long, long time ago, when I found it in the back of a dusty library in Dorset. So that's some history on that one for you. And so that's basically all I've been reading. Some bits of magazine sections. I read an analog that Roy, you actually sent to me, which was great, which was a really nice Gordon Dixon story, which I really enjoyed as well. But for me, that's all I've really read for the past month. I'm slowly getting back into it. It's just I'm behind on the TBR list I gave myself, but I'm probably in the next few days going to do another one about next month. But it's quite a good thing to stick to this TBR list nonsense, because it has actually sort of kept me a little bit more focused. Just have a sip of drink a second. And I've been looking around on BookTube as well. One thing, if anybody has been following Brian Lee Durfee, who sadly ended up in hospital a few months ago with a severe pancreatic infection of some sort. I'm afraid he's not doing too well at the moment. There was an Instagram post from him yesterday, and he's been back in hospital, and he's spent months, and he's full of antibiotics and that. So I wish him lots of wellness for that. And I said I don't think because he was posting the odd video, but he's not posted one for a while. But obviously he's in hospital, and as we all know, the American healthcare system is totally out there, and so it's probably costing him an absolute fortune as well. So if you want to support him, go and buy one of his books. So what else on BookTube I've been looking at? There's also, I know Rocket Summer has been going on, which should be the sort of thing that I should involve myself in, but I've been sort of avoiding events because of the way I've been reading. So I know there's been some great videos, a couple from you, Roy. I've seen some from you're down there, boy. Sorry, I've got a dog here with asthma. So that doesn't help. And a few other videos around. I know Garb August is coming up, which I've seen quite a few videos on. I do not partake in Garb August because I have ethical issues with it, which is very silly. I know it's encouraging people to read lots of more obscure books. 2 seconds. I'm going to give my little man down there something to chew on. Take that. And then there's a bomb down there. My solution today for barking dogs. So yes, anyway, back to that. So yeah, Garb August. So yeah, Rocket Summer has been great, has it? Yeah, I've seen lots of. I haven't watched huge amounts of videos this month because I've been quite busy, but I know there's been a lot of people picking up on the more obscure science fiction of that sort of era, which has been really good to see, rather than keeping to all the sort of mainstream obvious things. And I said, I think in some ways some of that leaks into Garb August. And I said, I have ethical issues with Garb August because I have problems naming anything. I know it's done in a jokey way, but I think labeling stuff putting that garbage name to it just sort of can reinforce the ideas that some of it is rubbish. And there is some rubbish there, but a lot of it is very, very good stuff. But that's just my own opinions. And I've all hail Criminology for starting this and getting people to read some of these books that he's got them to read. So I haven't got that much reading. It's just that I don't really. Probably a lot of stuff I read normally could count for Garb August things. Yes. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, garbage is good, but yeah, I think in some ways having a negative connotation on something can make that quite difficult. Which is the only reason why I don't really put it up there. But that's just me because I'm just stupid, silly things. But it's great that it's getting people to read stuff and even look at things like novelizations, which are sometimes incredibly underrated. I personally think, and there's some really, really good ones. They're not. I don't think the modern ones are as good as some of the ones from sort of the 70s and 80s. That's just not me being an old man. It's I think it's to do with the fact that the studios put a lot more restrictions on them when they're writing the novelizations. Trying to see what else. Do I have anything else down here? Nope. Book wise. But yes, I totally agree though. Garbage is good. And what else have I looked on video wise? Al did a great review of our Roadside Picnic, and I'm still hoping to when he's back around to do the talk with him on Roadside Picnic, which is a great book. If you've not read it, read it. And if you've not seen the film, see the film. You okay down there, little gizmo? My poor little. The problem is the weather's hot and it's very humid, and he's not handling it particularly well. So yeah, and Gavin from Genre Books has done a great. It's about a 30-minute long video on where all the superheroes gone, about science fiction superheroes, and that is a really, really good video. Stop it! Please don't be a pain, boy. Please don't be a pain. Come on. Please don't be a pain, because I'm just doing this. Otherwise, I'll have to pause this for a second and come back, and that'll be annoying. Also, Science Fiction Reads. If you know Matt over at Science Fiction Reads, he's had a bit of a bad time recently, so just go and give him some love. That's what I say. And Outlaw Bookseller had a great video on Harlan Ellison. They just released J. Michael Straczynski. Is that how you pronounce his surname? The guy who did Babylon 5, who's in charge of Harlan Ellison's estate. They just released a book called Harlan Ellison's Greatest Hits. I know Al had a copy of it, but Outlaw Bookseller did a really nice talk on it. There's some people on YouTube losing their minds over the fact at the front of the book it just tells you that some of the language in there isn't the same as language used today. So you could get offended, but who cares about? Yes, they published his stories, and that's the thing about it. There was a J. Michael Straczynski. He actually did a statement about that, which is quite interesting to read, which I might find a link to if I can, because I've read it on David Gerald's Facebook page, actually, which was all quite interesting. But anything that puts Harlan Ellison stories out there is fine by me, no matter how they do it. So that's almost my BookTube stuff. I've missed quite a bit. I said I've had quite a busy month with lots of stuff going on, so that's why my videos have been thin on the ground. So just check over here on the screen. Wow, don't you start as well, little one? What are you doing? It wouldn't be me, would it, without some little barky dog in the background at some point. Watching wise, what things I've seen lots of mainstream stuff, really. I don't know if I mentioned last month with Al, I'd gone to see the new Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. Hi, Annie. Nice to see you here. Oop. I'm just trying to press the button to. Oop. Bingo card problem with more than 2 guns. I don't know what the prompts are, but yes. But yeah, watching wise, I don't know whether I mentioned I saw Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, which, as much as I enjoyed it when I saw it, I can't actually remember the story. So it can't have been that good. Well, it wasn't bad, but it must have been something going on with that. And the other film I saw was A Quiet Place on the First Day, which I actually quite enjoyed, and it's got a cat in it, which always is a plus by me. And the cat, you go through the whole film thinking, if you kill the cat, you're going to lose the audience. Yeah. And that was always my thing for the whole film. Weirdly, I stumbled across on Amazon Prime, they just had to get rid of it, was Stargirl. Season 1 and 2, they didn't have season 3. It's not a superhero stuff that I really know about. And I watched it with my wife. We watched 2 seasons. And actually, it was really, really good. The second season got really dark. There is a third season that I can't find anywhere, and they cancelled it after that. So that was quite interesting. And so that was interesting. I just rewatched the original Fantastic Four films from the early 2000s, which I still quite like. Saw The Acolyte, the Star Wars thing, which the pacing on it is absolutely terrible because they just stop in weird places. I always thought with streaming, the idea was that they can have the episodes as long as they want. They could stop and start when they wanted to. So why were they keeping that to 30-minute episodes? It was okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. Yeah, Stargirl was really, really good. I really actually was surprised by it. I haven't found the third season anyway because it just fell off of Amazon Prime and they didn't have the third season. And we really binge watched it quickly in about a week because we found out it was coming after the week. And I cannot find the third season anywhere except on Blu-ray at some stupid amount of money, about £30, which obviously I'm not paying that. But I thought the second season it got really, really quite dark. The lead Stargirl character can get quite annoying, but I think she's meant to get annoying because she's a teenage girl. US only. Is that why? So you think it's a US only season 3? That's a shame. But I said it was really quite impressed me. I was quite surprised. I said how dark it got, and I said there were some bits about it that didn't quite work for me. But then I'm not me as a 50-something and 50 old man. I probably was not the target audience for something on the CW channel. So the fact that it kept me entertained, and said my wife really liked it as well, so that was great. And there was a couple of Holocaust things I ended up watching on Disney. One called We Were the Lucky Ones, which followed a true story of a Jewish family. The complete family got split up during the Second World War, and following all the things, it was really good. But yeah, that was all the things I'm watching. I have got planned to watch a film from 1965 by Mario Bava, Italian director, called Planet of the Vampires, that I'd never heard about until about 3 or 4 days ago. And I've now got a copy of it by a friend of mine. He told me about it. And it is a film that apparently Alien took quite a bit of inspiration for. Apparently Ridley Scott and Dan O'Bannon, who wrote the script for Alien, denied a lot of it. But then Dan O'Bannon, the bit where they go to see the skeleton on the alien planet is inspired by this film because Dan O'Bannon actually admitted it later on. Okay, air fryer has pinged. An air fryer has pinged. I've never used an air fryer. My mother-in-law is obsessed by air fryers. When she visited, was almost trying to get us to get one. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Roy. I said the rest of this will be up if you ever want to watch it, probably on the podcast area, whatever I call it. My brain is really going addled this month anyway. So I will see you later anyway, Roy. Thanks for dropping in. But yes, Planet of Vampires, Mario Bava. So I've got a copy of this, and it's very hammy by the looks of it. I'm not watched it yet, but there's the big skeleton scene in the middle of Alien is apparently inspired by it. Apparently at the time Dan O'Bannon denied it, and then later on in the interview said, yes, I stole it. I stole it from there. So I'm quite intrigued to watch that. So that would be good. And that's probably anything I've got lined up to watch for the next month. It's all what time I get. I said I'm partway through Smacks All Fresh as Grass. I've got a few other things coming up. I just want to get my reading sort of back to where it was at the beginning of the year, just to speed up. And I said, normally I'd be bouncing some of these things off of an owl, so it's quite weird doing this bit by myself, but I just thought I'd get this out. And as I said, Al's on holiday in the land of Uzo, so we may be back by now. So we will hopefully get a proper podcast out in the next few weeks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was going to drop out. Garb August, Highlands and Greatest Hits. Because I made it's not longer than 20 minutes. Oh yes, another film I did see was a film called Breathe, which was hanging around somewhere that we caught, which was another science fiction one about the planet running out of air. The people did stupid things, but his family in this little bunker. It had Mila Jokovic in it, who appears in every post-apocalyptic thing. That was okay. Didn't blow me away. But I really want to watch some more obscure things. I'm going too mainstream at the moment. I need to go less mainstream. So, reading wise for the next month, I'm probably going to be planned. I'm going to finish off, obviously, the wonderful All Flesh is Grass, which I'm looking forward to finishing because I've started that. I've got a couple of books from last month that was on my TBR from last month I'm going to finish. And I may even go off and read some James Bond again because I just need to get myself sort of flowing into the reading again. I may even have a look at the prompts for Garb August and see what they are at the moment. There's a 2-gun prompt. Can we do that? There's a few things anyway. But yeah, I think that's about it really for this abridged, stored, live podcasty thing. It's really, really hot here at the moment. So I'm looking forward to going off and having an ice cream, I think. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. If you're watching live or if you're watching later on, and if anybody else wants to say anything. Oh, little Pom's, what you doing? My little Pomeranian going off, isn't she? Can we check you out for 2 seconds, girl? Want to say goodbye to everybody? Yeah. But yes, so I will speak to you all very soon, and said we'll have a proper podcasty thing out next month, hopefully, once I speak to Al next. I said I'm hoping to do the roadside picnic bit with him. And this one, I'm going to do a wee bit of editing, and I will put this up on my normal podcast feed, but it will stay up on the live section as well. Yeah, ice cream. Ice cream's always good. Because I don't know what it's like where you are, Annie, but here it is, I say it's about 24, 25 degrees, and we're not used to temperatures like that here. And probably in the house here, it's probably warmer. I think that's why the dogs are being a bit funny. But thanks for dropping by, and I will speak to you very soon, and hopefully to, yeah, don't know what else to say, really. Anyway, have a good evening. It's hot over in the Netherlands as well. Yeah, I think the south, if you go down south through Scotland and through England, I think it's a bit cooler down there than it is up here for some reason. We had, I think a few weeks ago, we had lots and lots of sun for about a week, and then it went and it was cooled down, but it's come back for the past week's been really, really hot. Well, hot for us. Anything over 20 degrees here is hot, which probably sounds pathetic to some people, but that's what we're used to. But anyway, I'm going to go off, have my ice cream, and thank you for watching, and thanks for being here, Annie. Nice to see you here, and thank you to Roy who popped in earlier, and anybody who's watching after the fact. And I will speak to lots of people very soon. Bye-bye.